Just tell us what's driving these numbers. Big revenue, but slower user growth to come.
Well, Emily, we had a great fourth quarter. We were able to deliver for advertisers in a terrific way at the end of what was a pretty unprecedented year. We grew our ads revenue 43% sequentially in Q4. We grew total revenue 28% year over year. We also grew our DAU by 27% for the full year. That's 40 million people who we added to the service for the full year and 5 million for the quarter. We did share some details about the quarter in front of us as well. To get to your question, we said in the month of January, because there's been so much that happened this month, and people are probably wondering what the impact to us has been. In the month of January, we've added more DAU than we added in the average of the last 4 Januaries. We also said, as we start to lap these COVID comps, when we added a lot of people in March of last year, that we expect March DAU to grow about 20%. And so hopefully that gives people a sense that even though we're going to lap tougher comps in Q2, 3, and 4, that we still see lots of opportunity to add lots more people to the service.
So look, Ned, it seems like a lifetime has passed since we last spoke last quarter. The Capitol riots, President Trump getting banned from Twitter, a new administration coming in. The big question everyone has is just how big was the Trump bump, if you will, and how much traffic do you lose without him?
Well, I'll give you a couple of fun facts. One, we have 50 accounts with more than 25 million followers. 80% of the people who use Twitter are outside of the United States. Whether it's the Super Bowl or an election in another part of the world or an artist dropping a big album, there are so many great things that happen on Twitter every day, and it's so much more than an account, a geography, a particular type of conversation. And that's why we shared that data around January. We wanted people to see the breadth of our service. And when we shared that we had more people join us this past January than the average of the last 4 Januaries, hopefully that give people some clarity of our breadth and ability to add people to the service no matter what's going on around us. We've made so many great changes
Okay,
to
but
Twitter.
Can you share?
Go ahead.
Right. Can you share any color about how the service changes, given that he's not on there? I mean, you know, he certainly was driving a lot of interest and a lot of traffic, whether you liked it or not.
Well, you and I might come at this from a very US-centric perspective, but with 80% of the people who use Twitter looking at it from a non-US perspective, you get a really different angle on the service, whether it's cricket in India or something entertainment-wise in Europe. And when we had double-digit growth in all of our top 10 markets, you get a sense this is not just about the US. So a public official in the United States is certainly something that brings people to Twitter, but there are lots of other public officials in the United States, and the conversations in Washington haven't changed in terms of the topics that are on people's mind and people coming to Twitter to want to be a part of a conversation or to learn from others around those topics. I'll tell you, whether somebody's a public official or it's one of us, we want to enforce our policies consistently so that everybody who comes to Twitter can trust what they see, they can feel safe being a part of the conversation, and to make sure that nobody's doing anything to incite off-platform violence. And when we do that, more and more people will come to the service and more advertisers will come to the service.
Now, he's been suspended from Facebook indefinitely, but that decision is going to an oversight board. He's been banned from Twitter permanently, and a lot of people applauded that decision. A lot of people pushed back. Is there any scenario in which you would change that call?
Well, the way our policies work, we have various enforcement options, but once somebody is removed from Twitter, there isn't a path for them to come back. And that's true for public officials. It's true for anybody else who uses the service as well. As you know, we try lots of different things as alternatives. And as Jack tweeted about after the ban, we view this often as a failure where there's opportunity for us to continue to challenge ourselves about ways to make this conversation on Twitter more and more constructive. But we want to use labels to provide context. We want to give suspensions to give people the opportunity to change how they show up on the service. But ultimately, we need to be able to ban people when they're inciting violence off of the platform or not following our rules.
Now, we've been watching Clubhouse, the live audio experiences app, taking off. You had Elon Musk on there, Mark Zuckerberg on there over the last couple of weeks. You've got a competitor to that called Spaces, which is in beta. How big an opportunity do you see there?
Well, if you think about the progress that Twitter made since we were founded, from 140 characters to adding images to adding video and then live video and audio tweets, it's been a steady evolution where we recognize when people want to have a public conversation, they want access to all different types of ways to communicate and to hear others. And so we view live chat spaces as a natural extension of a lot of the work that we've been doing. And we're really excited about this beta, although it's really early. This is a great opportunity for us to leverage the interest graph that we already have about all the things that we know about what are interesting or important to people, bringing them to conversations, helping them see other people or join these conversations. So we'll keep you posted as we go, but we're excited about this opportunity to further help people have public conversations.
You've also made a number of small acqui-hires over the last couple of months. Are we going to see you get more aggressive on acquisitions this year?
Well, we've been pretty aggressive over the last few years. We've bought about 20 companies. We've spent hundreds of millions of dollars. Usually we're buying teams, but sometimes we buy technology and sometimes we buy whole products or businesses. And the thinking is anytime that we can accelerate our current priorities by bringing a team to Twitter, we're willing to pay a slight premium or sometimes more than a slight premium in order to bring those people to Twitter to help make us all better. One of the things that I'm really excited about is that our retention rate for the employees who join us through acquisition is actually higher than our overall retention rate over the last few years, which gives you a sense that this is a core competency for us, that we're identifying teams who want to be a part of Twitter and feel like they can help us move the needle. So I hope you do see us continue to be aggressive around M&A, whether it's teams, technology, or products over time.
Now, Fleets is your version of Stories. Curious when we're going to start see you selling ads there, and also this question of subscription remains. Are we going to see subscriptions as part of the business to generate revenue as well?
Well, there are lots of parts of Twitter that we think we can better monetize over time. Fleets is certainly an example, but there are others as well. And all the work that we've done around topics over the last year or so, where there now are 6,000 topics that people can follow across 6 different languages. That should be many, many more topics. That gives us terrific signal and opportunity to show people better ads. There are other places that are part of the service as well where we think we can do a better job showing people ads. So Fleets is just an example. As far as subscriptions, there will be work that we'll continue to do around subscriptions where you'll get to watch us test and learn on the service as we provide options for consumers, a premium service that might be on top of what you already get in the version of Twitter that we all see today, business presence, higher quality video, and other things that we'll experiment with. And as we refine these, we'll roll them out in a broader way. As much as important as subscriptions are, it's important to not lose sight of the hundreds of billions of dollars a year that are spent on digital ads, because that's the opportunity that we're best positioned to deliver against today. And when you see all the performance we were able to deliver in Q4 and the new rollout that we had on Monday of a new map or app install product and a new website clicks product, we feel like there's lots of low-hanging fruit for us to do even better in digital advertising as a foundation, and subscriptions as an opportunity to build on top of that.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quicktake now for insight in an instant.